Hello, I'm here to tell you about the literary criticism resources that we at the IPL offer you. The first section I'm going to tell you about is our actual literary criticism section. And you find that first by clicking Special Collections created by IPL2, which I'm highlighting here. And then within that, you click Literary Criticism, which I'm highlighting here. Now, there are a few different ways to browse, and I'll tell you about them now. And they are good for different kinds of work that you may have. So, for instance, you're writing a paper on the works of J.D. Salinger, which is more of a general thing. You would possibly want to browse by the author instead of by a specific work. So you would find author's last name and find the letter. So S through T, or you can click all and browse through every site. So for Salinger, it's S through T. And there's J.D. Salinger here, and you click that. Now, as you see, we have a couple of different things here. We have a section that would be criticism on the author, and a section on biographical sites on the author, as well as what we would call, miscellaneous resources. And hopefully one of those will have the kind of thing that you're looking for. And now, as you see over here, once you've gotten to the author's page, there's also links to the web pages for their various works. For instance, I clicked on Franny and Zooey, and there don't seem to be any critical sites about that work, but there are other sites. I recommend looking at the other sites, as sometimes what we have, termed as not literary criticism still has stuff that you could use in a very useful way within a paper. For instance, these are reviews on the New York Times from when the book was originally released, which could be very useful, especially, if you're writing something about how the book was received. And they do offer insights, so make sure you check all the resources that are on a specific work or an author's section, even if they're not technically called critical sites. The second way to browse is by work instead of by author. So if you were writing an essay on Catch-22 and that's all you really care about is that work, you would come down here and you would find the letter that it begins with, so C for Catch-22. And here is Catch-22. Now this is all the things that we have collected on Catch-22, critical and non-critical. And that's another way you can browse instead of by author. And it'll take you right to the work. Finally, the last way to browse is by literary period. Now, this is a good way if, for instance, you're looking for an author that you're interested in and want to read, or if you're writing a paper on a specific grouping. So, for instance, American literature of the 20th century, we'd click this, and it has a lot of websites that deal with that segment of literature. And then you scroll to the bottom of that, and here is all the authors we have on our webpage that are American authors and that wrote within the 20th century. And you can also browse, by, for instance, if you were writing about Ireland, you would go to Irish literature and you would pick the 19th or 20th century and see what authors we have information on here. And the final thing I'm going to tell you about is not within our literary criticism webpage, so we have to go back to the IPL2 homepage, and we would go to Resources by Subject, which I'm highlighting, Arts and Humanities and Literature, which I'm highlighting, and then you would click Criticism. This is a grouping of resources that devote themselves to literary criticism. Now, there are some resources, like here we have the New York Times, the New York Journal of Books, that are like what I've already shown you, works of criticism about specific authors and about specific books. There are also other interesting websites as well. For instance, this Undergraduate Guide to Critical Theory, which provides, as it says here, examples of schools of critical theory and of their uses. So those are about literary criticism as a whole, the history of literary criticism, different types of literary criticism. So depending on what kind of work you do, that would decide whether you would go to our literary criticism webpage if you're looking for works on an author or a book, or if you'd want to come here and browse some of the other links, or if you're looking for literary criticism in general. Okay, I hope that this has been helpful, and I hope that whatever you're looking for, be it entertainment or research for a paper, you'll find it here at the IPL. Thank you.